Bonjour, 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 bonjour. Bonjour, salut, coucou.
Bonjour les amis.
Bonjour.
Bonjour et bienvenue à la 4e classe de français. Avec moi, Monsieur Armstrong.
Et avec moi, Mademoiselle Ferré.
During the last lesson, we learned to ask each other, how old are you?
Quel âge as-tu?
And you could respond like this. Quel âge as-tu?
J'ai 28 ans. Quel âge as-tu?
J'ai 30 ans.
As we are learning to introduce ourselves to other people, one thing we might ask is, where do you live?
And to say that in French, you could say, où habites-tu? Où habites-tu? Before we begin to think about answering this question, we have to think about the French verb habiter, which means to live. Now, you can't really answer these questions with the infinitive form of the verb, ending in ER in this case, because that would be a bit strange. It doesn't really work like that. For example, in English, you can't really say I to live here, you to live there, we to live there, because infinitives don't work that way. So what we need to do is learn how to use it with a pronoun. And today, the only one that we are going to concern ourselves with to answer this question is I, or je.
Je.
Je. To use habiter with je, we have to combine it together first of all. But let's have a look at the verb itself. Because whenever you are conjugating a verb, you have to chop off what's at the end, in this case the ER, and you have to put on a new suffix that represents the pronoun, i.e. the person who is speaking at this point. In this case it's je or I, first person pronoun. Now what you do on the end of this new chopped up version of our verb, our root word if you like, you would place an E on the end. Normally you would think that would be je habite, and it would be partially correct, but the only problem is the H or the H is silent en français. Therefore, you have to conjoin both of them together with an apostrophe. A bit like in English where you have words like mustn't and can't. It's kind of like that for the sake of pronunciation. So instead of je habite, it becomes j'habite.
J'habite.
J'habite. J'habite. Of course, to answer that question, it's not necessarily as simple as j'habite, insert place here. It does get a little bit complicated when it comes to certain types of places. We need to use things called prepositions. In English, I could be going to somewhere. That is the preposition there, to. Now, in French, it depends on many things. For a start, it can depend on, for example, if it's a town or a city. It can also depend on if it's a country. And then furthermore to the complication, it either depends if it's masculine or feminine. Also, if it is an island as well. And then, to even make it even more complicated, plural. We're not going to look at all that today. We are going to focus only on towns and cities. As we are only talking about towns and cities, the preposition we are going to use is a. So now, you have your preposition a. What you do now, you put this on the end of j'habite, so j'habite à, and insert town here. For example, we live in Canterbury. So for us, it would be j'habite à Canterbury.
J'habite à Canterbury.
J'habite à Canterbury. Please don't stalk us. Originally, I come from London. Now, if I still lived there, I would say j'habite à Londres.
And I come originally from Barcelona, so if I was still living there, I would say j'habite à Barcelone.
So how about we practice just a little bit before we get to everybody's favourite part?
Yay.
Yay, wonderful. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask the wonderful Mademoiselle Ferré where she lives. Où habites-tu?
J'habite à Canterbury. Où habites-tu?
J'habite à Canterbury. Now how about we try with you watching at home? I will ask you the question, you answer it, and hopefully I can answer it back. Not sure how that's going to work. We'll try anyway. Où habites-tu?
Où habites-tu?
Allez les enfants, je suis prêt pour la musique. Mademoiselle Ferret, tu es prête?
Oui, je suis prête.
Ah, très bien, très bien.
Et vous? Vous êtes prêts?
Oui, d'accord. Allez, les enfants, s'il vous plaît. 1, 2, 3, toc. La magique. Allez, avec moi. 1, 2, 3. Oh là là! Ah, j'ai la guitare.
Et j'ai le tambourin.
Ah, parfait. Je joue de la guitare.
Et je joue du tambourin.
Ah, super les enfants. Allez, now here's what we're going to do. We are going to play a little song as per usual, and Mademoiselle Ferret is going to back us up with the percussion. On the D chord right there, we're going to start off by saying Salut, which we remember means hi. Following that, we are going to ask our new question, which is Où habites-tu?
Où habites-tu?
And it starts off a bit like this. Salut, où habites-tu? And then after that,
Oh là là.
we begin to answer this question. Now we're going to use the same examples that we used earlier. We're going to start off with Londres, which means London. Then we will have Canterbury, which means Canterbury. And then Barcelone, which funnily enough means Barcelona, not Madrid. So once we begin with our Salut, où habites-tu, we will then say J'habite à Londres, où habites-tu? So let's try that again, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Salut, où habites-tu? J'habite à Londres, où habites-tu? And then after that, we're going to answer the question again, this time with J'habite à Canterbury. Following that, Où habites-tu? And finally, J'habite à Barcelone. If you are finding yourself a little bit stuck with this, the links are below in the description. Okay, je suis prêt. Tu es prête aussi?
Oui, je suis prête. Et
D'accord.
c'est parti.
D'accord. So let's have our first proper practice together. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Salut, où habites-tu? J'habite à Londres, où habites-tu? J'habite à Canterbury, où habites-tu? J'habite à Barcelone.
Encore.
Salut, où habites-tu? J'habite à Londres, où habites-tu? J'habite à Canterbury, où habites-tu? J'habite à Barcelone.
Yeah! That's how it's done, mesdames et messieurs et les enfants. D'accord. So, are you ready for the real thing?
Oui, je suis prête.
Je suis prêt aussi. I was born ready. Vous êtes prêts? Allons-y! 1, 2, 3, 4.
Salut, où habites-tu? J'habite à Londres, où habites-tu? J'habite à Canterbury, où habites-tu? J'habite à Barcelone. Salut, où habites-tu? J'habite à Londres, où habites-tu? J'habite à Canterbury, où habites-tu? J'habite à Barcelone.
Encore.
Salut, où habites-tu? J'habite à Londres, où habites-tu? J'habite à Canterbury, où habites-tu? J'habite à Barcelone.
Now for the fun part. super, c'est très magique.
Oui.
Allez, les enfants. Now, you could have a go at singing that by yourselves at home with your family, and please do record and send it back to us as well, because we absolutely love seeing you guys having fun with our songs.
You could even sing along to the original Beatles song.
Who are the Beatles?
The band.
Do they sing about the insects, or do they sing about the Volkswagen? Anyway, les enfants, until next time, merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Au revoir les enfants.
Au revoir.
Bonjour, 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 bonjour. Bonjour, salut.